Good afternoon. Welcome back to Passionate World Talk Radio Network, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network, LLC. And here's something for you to think about. AI is powering scammers. Learn how to fight back on Scam DamNation. You didn't think that, but AI is one of the biggest boons that have ever come across scammers. And if scammers can use it, so can you. The new scams to watch out for. Brought to you by Consumer Reports. ConsumerReports.org. To read or hear the whole episode, go over to https://passionatworldtalkradio.com/blog and get the rest of the story. This article was written by Derek Kravitz, Kravitz, and he is an investigative reporter. And he put this out first of the year, 2025, and we are revisiting it for those who might have missed it. You receive a call, supposedly, from the fraud department at your bank, or an offer of a dream vacation you've always wanted but never could afford, or an attractive job posting, or you go online to pay for something, but is it really them from Amazon, or is it someone else? And today, even old scams are being repurposed and given new life using new technology that can make bogus pitches more convincing and more dangerous to you. For one thing, criminals can now easily access your deeply personal information about you, from your birthday to using your social security number with all the breaches, and use it to convince you of their identity, that they're a bank employee. And in addition, with the advent of artificial intelligence becoming more sophisticated and mature daily, these deep fakes are creating more realistic computer generated videos of people you know and trust, like CEOs and celebrities. A lot of celebrities are upset that AI is mimicking their voice. You can see them on Facebook, all those pictures of famous people who you've learned to trust and identify with. Not so fast, Pilgrim. Americans are losing substantial amounts of money, even the people who consider themselves too smart, says John Bryalt, who manages the National Consumer League's fraud.org campaign. In 2023, U.S. fraud claims rose to more than $2.6 million, a record high, with an estimated $10 billion lost, according to the Federal Trade Commission. And the true toll is probably far higher, but because most victims are afraid to report it to law enforcement and regulatory agency, it's a rough estimate. Some communities, as we well know, the elders, are more vulnerable to digital scams. Black and Latino consumers are more than twice as likely as whites to have lost money to high-tech frauds, according to CR's 2024 Cyber Readiness Report. Older Americans, especially those who are isolated or experiencing loneliness, are also at risk of being targeted through romance and sweepstakes scams. And younger consumers are also being attacked via social media by job, shopping, and let's not forget crypto investment scams. To find out more about these scams, CR to ask their members to share their experiences, and more than 400 of them responded. They spoke to several of them who were targeted and sought expert advice of how to avoid becoming a victim yourself. Let me share one of the stories. The rest of the stories will be provided on Consumer Reports where you can find it, read it, take notes, do whatever you need to do to protect yourselves and your elderly loved ones. The bank scam. Your account has been compromised. Amount lost, $25,000. Kathy M., a 70-year-old widow, considered herself to be financially astute and risk adverse. She has had incoming calls from unknown numbers sent straight to her voice box. And she would never give out her bank account information to anyone over the phone. So when she was contacted by a Wells Fargo caller ID that popped up on her phone, and the person introduced himself as a rep of the bank's fraud department, she was wary. The man said her account had been compromised and that he wanted to verify some new charges that appeared to have been made in Texas, a place she hadn't visited recently. Her first question was, how do I know you're really from Wells Fargo? And then the caller read back the last four numbers of her social security number. Her guard came down when she heard that, and she was only too happy to prevent more fraudulent transactions. It only took 90 minutes, and the caller elicited numerous banking details from her, including her account password. He had her write down and read out lengthy strings of number he called transaction IDs. And while she was busy helping him, his accomplice changed the contact phone number on Kathy's account and called Wells Fargo, pretending to be Kathy, telling an employee she was authorizing a wire transfer of $25,000 to pay a contractor. And guess what? He then emailed her, inquiring about unusual activity on her account. But she didn't notice the alert in her inbox because the scammer kept her distracted. The scammer also told her not to access her bank account for a few hours while the active authentication was going on. But when she was finished and hung up, she had second thoughts, and she quickly called Wells Fargo using the phone number on the website, but it was too late. The wire transfer had already taken place and couldn't be undone. The $25,000 scam left just $2,017.75 in her savings account. Wells Fargo denied her reimbursement claim, saying that because she had willingly, underline that word, willingly, shared her personal financial information, even though it was under false pretenses, there was nothing they could do. The bank says it deeply emphasizes with cases like hers. Now, months later, she finds it hard to sleep at night, mulling over what happened and what made me to believe him. I am angry. So, how do you protect yourself? Scammers run imposter frauds, and they use what's called spoofing technology to make it appear as if a phone call or text is coming from your bank. And they can purchase personal information, such as your Social Security and bank account numbers on the dark web or via the messaging app Telegram to help convince you that they are who they say they are. So what do? 1, don't panic. 2, don't rush in where angels fear to tread. And 1A, hang up immediately. Block that phone number and call up the institution they mention and find out the facts and how to protect yourself should that person or people call back. Find a verified phone number, ask AI, or search through Google. That usually has AI answering the questions now for you. At least with Copilot, that's how it works. You ask a question through Google, and their AI responds with the confirmed phone numbers of that banking institution. It's also a good idea to have all unknown calls sent directly to your voicemail, so you are not tempted to give in from their pressure voice. Never, ever give your financial info to anyone. Legitimate bank employees will never ask for your username, PINs, one-time access codes, or passwords. Banks understand this information is meant to be your privacy. Instead, they will ask you to confirm your identity. They will send you a one-time code that you yourself enter. Don't act fast. To put you off guard, scammers will often say that a matter needs to be handled immediately or your money could be at risk. If your bank is at all competent, it is not at risk. Don't take that bait. Confirm whether there really is an issue by calling and checking with the bank or government agency yourself. The next story deals with a lady who was scammed out of $200 while shopping. Again, she did it even though she had misgivings. So how do you protect yourself? Selling or buying products online from another person is risky. Checks can bounce. Purchase gifts may never arrive. I had that happen. And the buyers and sellers themselves might be scammers intent on getting you to quickly send money to them and then disappearing. It happened to a friend of mine. Here's how to use peer-to-peer marketplaces safely. Know who you're dealing with. When selling or buying on a site like Facebook Marketplace, you check that buyer's or seller's Facebook profile and see whether they have friends and realistic activity, like recently posted vacation photos. Separately, check their past Facebook Marketplace transaction and reviews by other buyers and sellers, and be wary of anyone offering you full price. Ditto if they don't seem interested in the item's condition or seeing it in person. This can be a sign that the buyer doesn't really want the item and is looking at it to scam you. Do not give a buyer your address or other personal information. Do what they ask you to do when you first meet somebody on a dating site. Go to a restaurant, go to the library, stand outside the fire department, make sure you're noticed, police station, somewhere where there's a crowd and make sure people can hear what you're saying. There are people who will say, stop, you're being scammed. I was at Walmart and looking at gift cards, and I had an offbeat policeman stop me and say, let me see your cell phone. And he says, ma'am, that's a scam. We Americans are not shy to help fellow Americans be scammed. And finally, use marketplaces with built-in protections. The next story involves the employment scam. A lot of that's going on. So what do you need to do? Scam job websites often come with fake company websites and LinkedIn pages. Fictionist recruiters with fleshed out social media profiles and realistic interview prompts. They typically target younger people who are more technology savvy. To avoid them, investigate the employer yourself. Determine if a company is real. Find its website and ascertain that it has an address and phone number. If you spot different websites for the same company, that's a red flag. Never send money or give bank account information to an employer, recruiter, or a temporary agency. Scammers are great at convincing impersonated real-life people. Insist on a face-to-face meeting online or in person. Video calls provide greater transparency and the opportunity to ask more specific questions. Bring a friend if you're going to meet somebody. I do it all the time. Then there's the travel scam. This person lost $7,000. How do you protect yourself? And these people use Prime from Amazon. So listen up. Scammers now have the sophisticated tools to find the type of people they feel are most likely to fall for the hard sell. In other words, they're pigeon. They can buy complete dossiers derived from publicly available online sources, as well as personal data collected from cyber attacks and leaks. They tailor their scams to go after the especially lucrative targets, such as retirees living in wealthy zip codes. And the scams are manipulative. You have to act fast. So, you receive something like that, or you have a bad gut feeling, disconnect. You know what to do. People have been telling you. Commercials on TV tell you A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, what you need to do. Do it. And then stop a scam before it starts. How to avoid being targeted and losing money. Please go over to consumerreports.org and look up the 6 tips to help you avoid being scammed. AI is powering scammers. Don't give them the power. Learn how to fight back. It's your money. Take care of it. You worked hard for that money. Are you going to let it easily slip through your fingers? I don't think so. Go over to https://passionateworldtalkradio.com/blog. Go check the URL link. Go over to Consumer Reports. Take notes. Read it. Discuss it with your friends at your weekly book club. It's that important. And with the holidays now coming up faster, protect yourself at all costs. Thank you very much for listening to the 6 tips from Consumer Reports of how to protect yourself from the 6 old new repurposed scams and the use of AI and those leaks and breaches that everybody is now involved in. PassionateWorldTalkRadio.com/blog. If you've been scammed, let us know. Send your information to pwrnetworkllc@gmail.com. Or if you have some tips or how you protected yourself, please share it with the rest of the world, because the world and the aliens are listening. Thank you very much. Have a great remainder of the week, and we'll see you next time on Scam DamNation.